Sometimes in life we get so busy in the growth that it can become so painful that it'd be better to just die than grow, which ironically is sort of the simplistic way in which I define death, not growing. So there's a rift within, how do we return when we drift? See, growth often feels like acceleration, achievement, momentum, forward motion, but the quieter reality is that every great expansion is preceded by an invisible tearing, a soft fracture, if you will, between who you have been and who you're no longer willing to be. See, nobody teaches us how to recognize this. The world cheers for our ambition. The world praises our consistency. But it says very little about the moment when these forces turn against each of us inside, or turn against each other on the inside. It's like two people fighting. So when the hunger for more feels like a betrayal of our gratitude, and the longing for peace feels like a betrayal of our potential, this is where the identity fractures. Not because you fail, but because you've outgrown the shape you were once given. You may find yourself caught between two inner rhythms. This one part of you that reaches forward, building and striving and refusing to settle, and another part that sits quietly, remembering how much it cost you the last time you ran so hard toward this light that was so far away that you forgot to feel the ground under your feet. See, the truth, though, is that neither part of this is wrong. The tension you feel is not a sign of weakness. It's the sound of a life that refuses to amputate one truth to serve another. It's the early music of a deeper integration. But see, if you ignore this rift, if you pretend that only one voice matters, the consequences are extremely subtle, but they're disastrous. They're devastating. You achieve more, but you feel less alive. You build higher, but you feel alone. You maintain your peace, but you feel your soul is growing stale. See, the tragedy is not ambition. The tragedy is isolation from yourself, from the parts of you that were meant to move together, but now live like estranged brothers, eyeing each other across the wreckage of your unspoken contradictions. See, remedy is not surrender. The remedy is synthesis. You can't solve this tension by shutting down your ambition. You can't just quit and give up. You cannot solve it by shaming your need for contentment. Oh, why don't you just be content? So you solve it by letting them meet, coming together and looking each other in the eyes. You solve it by learning to belong to yourself even as you stretch beyond yourself. This means creating new agreements inside. What are those agreements? Well, one could be, I will not pursue growth. No. Do it this way. I will pursue growth, but I will not do it at the cost of my soul's rootedness. Another one, I will savor the life that I have even as I build the life I envision. See, all of this can be at the same time. Here's another one. I will not apologize for my pace, whether swift or still. Because remember, sometimes the sitting is the greatest place of growth. Try this. I will not make an enemy of any part of me that is slow to change. Neither will I make an enemy of any part of me that is quick to dream. See, you're not here to perform ambition. You're not here to manufacture serenity. You are here to become indivisible. So how do we do this? What does it look like in praxis? Well, you need new rituals, not new resolutions, not new goals and a to-do list. You need new rituals. Spaces where ambition and rest are allowed to coexist without accusation, without shame, without fear, without frustration. Reflections that honor both striving and savoring without judgment. See, time deliberately made sacred, not to strategize or optimize, but to listen to what is stirring inside without trying to package it into productivity. Boy, that was the killer for me for so long. You will need to measure success differently, not just by what you accomplish, but by how fully you stay with yourself while doing it. Not just by what you leave behind, but what you carry forward, intact, breathing, alive, real. You will need to recognize that the loneliness you sometimes feel is not failure. It's just the cost of integration. It's the price of choosing wholeness over speed, resonance over applause. I asked the question of myself recently and others, would you rather be wanted or seen? This is no different. Sometimes we feel like we have to sacrifice one for the other, but why not be seen and be wanted at the same time? See, the life ahead is not a choice between safety and greatness. It is the weaving of both. It is the art of staying close to yourself, even when the road demands more than honestly you thought you could give. See, you're not behind. You're not broken. You're not too much or not enough. You are simply unfolding at the pace of truth, at the pace of realness. And no matter how far you travel, no matter how high you rise or how still you sit, the only true destination is wholeness. The only true ambition worth chasing is the life where none of you has to be left behind. So, are you listening? Let's go get your life.